Ladies and gentlemen, our first match on today's program is one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing in the ring from Winnipeg, Manitoba, weighing 225 pounds, tough boy Eddie Watts. And his opponent, making his way to the ring area, hails from Moncton, New Brunswick, weighing 238 pounds, stomping Paul Peller. And your referee for this match is Ron Gauguin.
Well, it's great to be back here at ringside at World Grand Prix Wrestling here at the Cocan Arena. There goes the bell for this opening match. Tough boy Eddie Watts stomping Paul Peller. And, of course, the big news in World Grand Prix Wrestling, the Dynamite Kid, the British Bulldog, gaining the International Championship belt, beating Rotten Ron Starr this past week in Antigonish, Nova Scotia. No question about it, no controversy. 1, 2, 3, center of the ring. And Ron Starr has departed the maritime scene, but whoa, hold on. Bulldog Bob Brown has returned from the Stampede city of Calgary. And Bob Brown is now making his way to our ringside area. You might see there Brown giving some advice to tough boy Eddie Watts. There's Bulldog Bob Brown. He's going to be joining us at ringside momentarily as soon as he finishes his conversation with Eddie Watts, and we'll chat with the Bulldog as he makes his way to the ring table. And I guess, Bulldog Bob Brown, the first question that we have to direct upon your return to World Grand Prix Wrestling is, why did you come back?
I come back because there's so many things going on here, and people like Emile Prix are representative of wrestling right across the country, and letting these things get out of hand, and along with the referees and my good friend, the Cuban Commandos, being mistreated, and a few others, I couldn't take it any longer. So this is why I'm back to clean house again. And I'm going to clean house. I'm going to start from the bottom. I'm going to finish right on top with the champion, the Dynamite Kid himself. It's a shock to me to see him wearing that belt, because he certainly don't deserve it. And I'll show you people of the Maritimes, I'll show you people of the world, and all you people that's watching the TSN Sports, that I'm the greatest thing that ever happened to you in the Maritimes, and time will only tell now when you see me walk around with Dynamite Kid's belt. I'm on the roll, and we're not going to stop until I get everything that I want.
First thing I want to know is what kind of deal you rigged with Emile Prix to come back and get a title shot right away. I mean, here you are, slated to face the Dynamite Kid later on the program with the belt on the line.
Oh, I didn't even know that. That's a shock to me, because I never thought the Dynamite Kid had enough guts to put the belt on the line. He's good at going to bed every night with the belt around his waist. I'm shocked, but really then again, I'm not, because Dynamite would be known as a coward, and I'm telling you, there's nobody who wants to be a coward, so he's putting the belt on the line. And you know what I can say about that? Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, he'll be the shortest champion the Maritimes has ever seen.
Well, of course, I beg to differ. The Dynamite Kid has certainly proven upon his short stay here in the Maritimes, as well as with WWF, that he is more than capable. As far as this match is concerned, Paul Peller in against tough boy Eddie Watts, and it's been a pretty good match so far, as Peller has Watts backed up, and look at this! Eddie Watts in all kinds of difficulty along the ropes before referee Ron Gauguin helps bail him out.
Well, Paul Peller's on my hit list. I haven't forgotten Paul Peller, what he did to me last year when he came chasing me through the cities of Antigonish, Halifax, and Moncton with the baseball bat. He was put in jail, charged with a criminal offense, and the only reason he's not in jail is because I stopped it, because I want a piece of him. And the only way to get justice done with Paul Peller is take it to him. You know, he's the criminal element. He's got criminal activities. You know, he should be put in jail, but I'm going to do everybody the big justice and just put him away myself once and for all.
You know, you better get yourself a good lawyer, because you're going too far when you're using that kind of language in connection with Paul Peller. And if you're going to sit here at ringside and be a commentator as your contract stipulates, then brush up on some of your manners.
Well, let me remind you something about Paul Peller. There's a lot of things that you don't know. Paul Peller is short and round, His wife weighs 350 pounds. He's got 13 or 14 kids running around. Listen, we have to put a guy like him in his place, and the only reason to put him in his place is Bob Brown's justice, and it will be done.
It's almost like Bulldog Bob Brown never went away as he makes his return here on World Grand Prix Wrestling. As we mentioned, he's facing Dynamite Kid later in the program. Here's Peller now, getting a body slam by tough boy Eddie Watts. Watts grabbing the hair, elbow to the top of the head, backing Peller into the corner. Here's Peller now getting choked. Watts releasing the hold in time, though. There's a shot to the back of the neck.
You know, of course, also what I heard, Mr. Maxwell, about you and the ATV network, you know, they lost a little bit of their ratings. Now with Bulldog Bob Brown back as a color man, hey, those ratings will climb so high that you won't be able to handle yourself. I know, I'm it. I'm what the people want to see. They want to hear what's happening in the wrestling world, and here I am, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be your color man for the rest of the year.
Bulldog Bob Brown, of course, never at a loss for words or making his feelings known. Here's Paul Peller. Look at this. What do you have to say about Peller's maneuver on tough boy Eddie Watts?
Well, the referee is standing there letting this match get out of hand. He's not breaking Paul Peller. Paul Peller's breaking all of the rules in the book. And listen, there's nothing. Look at this.
Oh, my.
What's the referee do? He's standing in the corner.
Here's Paul Peller taking care of business against tough boy Eddie Watts. Neck breaker. 1, 2, 3. Peller, his arm raised in victory, and justifiably so, as he'll walk out with a win as he smiles and points at tough boy Eddie Watts, who is down on the canvas. Your boy Eddie Watts.
Well, let me remind you one thing. I thought it was a little fast count. I thought Paul Peller couldn't give anybody the reverse neck breaker because he's small and round. But let him try to give a real man the reverse neck breaker, and let's find out what's going to happen.
Don't go away. We'll be back with more action here on World Grand Prix Wrestling.
Fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing in the ring from Havana, Cuba, weighing 234 pounds, the eighth wonder of the world, the Cuban Assassin. And he is accompanied to the ring area by his partner, Jerry Morrow. His opponent, making his way to the ring area, hails from Shediac, New Brunswick, weighing 258 pounds. Here's Big Stephen Pettipaw. And your referee for this match is Bernie Richard.
Well, this should be an interesting match. It's singles competition time now for the Cuban Assassin as he prepares to grapple with the likes of Big Stephen Pettipaw.
Am I imagining things, Gare Maxwell? Big Stephen Pettipaw has lost a few pounds.
Big Stephen Pettipaw is in the best shape of his wrestling career. He's down about 10 or 15 pounds. He's been working out faithfully, religiously at Bedrock Gym in Moncton. And here he is ready to do battle with the Cuban Assassin. And I think it's only a matter of time before Big Stephen Pettipaw has a championship belt back around his waist.
Did you say Bedrock Gym?
I did indeed.
Oh, my good friends own that place. I must go down and see them, you know, because I'm in such tremendous shape. They couldn't do nothing for me because I've got it all done and I'm all prepared for everything, you know. So
I'm surprised you have any friends.
Oh, I got a lot of good friends. But let's get back to Stephen Pettipaw. You know, if there was ever a guy that amazed me in his size and his drop kicks and everything he does in the ring, but I always find out there's something puzzling me about Big Stephen Pettipaw. He's never come up and won the big matches. Now, he's wrestling the Cuban Assassin. Now, if he goes on to beat the Cuban Assassin, then I could say to you, Gare Maxwell, he's beaten somebody, and maybe he should get a title shot. But right now, Stephen Pettipaw hasn't changed my feelings about him in the last 2 years that I've been here. He's still big. He's still good. He knows everything about professional wrestling. But then again, Mr. Gare Maxwell, I am the Maritime's biggest liar.
Well, let me say this about that. Right away, I want my feelings known on this match that I am very concerned about the presence of one Jerry Morrow at ringside. Jerry Morrow is the Cuban Assassins tag team partner. But this is a singles match, and Jerry Morrow, to my knowledge, does not possess a manager's license to enable him to sit at that ringside location. Now, he should be removed from the premises so that this match can continue.
Well, Mr. Maxwell, let's get back to one thing. They are partners. They travel together. They eat together.
No
they
question.
Stay at the same
I'm not
hotel.
arguing that.
Okay,
You're not listening to what I'm saying.
Well, just
This
a minute.
is singles competition, and as such, Cuban Assassin is using Jerry Morrow in a managerial capacity for which he does not possess proper accreditation.
Okay, Mr. Whalen.
You can't argue with that. Those are the rules. Those are the rules of World Grand Prix Wrestling, and whether you like them or don't like them is inconsequential.
Well, I don't like the rules and regulations. I think if you got a partner, you're a tag team, and your partner, you got, after all, they are the tag team champions, so they got to be together. Here's Jerry Morrow sitting in the corner with the Cuban flag. Nobody respects. Hey, I'd be hot too, but I'd sit there as long as I've got the right to sit there. And Jerry Morrow, Champagne Jerry Morrow, that great athlete. All I can tell you is good luck to him, and I hope nobody removes him, because I like looking at him.
Here's Cuban Assassin going up and over with that drop, and Pettipaw, drop kick, and a headlock now on the Cuban Assassin. Big Stephen Pettipaw dominating here in the early stages of this match. But back to my comments on Morrow, all I'm saying is that if he's going to act as a manager in singles competition, get the proper licensing. Here's Cuban Assassin. Off the rope, Pettipaw decked, and I believe the Cuban Assassin reached into the Army fatigues and pulled something out of the pocket.
Mr. Maxwell, I don't know what match you are seeing, but hey...
Look, we can see it right there.
Just a minute.
It's right there on ATV television, the Cuban Assassin. Zoom in on that.
I can't see nothing.
Look,
He's got a
you
piece
can
of tape wrapped around his hand.
It looks like some sort of object. We can't be quite sure. Here he is using it on the throat of Big Stephen Pettipaw. Great work by our camera crew.
Well, the cameras are not working properly. They're picking up something that's happened in the audience.
Great work.
And Maxwell, I don't know what match you're watching, but for goodness sake, put your glasses on so you can watch the match with me, because you're watching a different match. All I'm looking at is a Cuban Assassin beating the heck out of Stephen Pettipaw.
Well, I'm going to let the great fans of the Maritimes be the judge. There you see the object again. No question about it.
That's his fist, and he's got his fist taped. That's what it is.
No question about it. The Cuban Assassin has some sort of object. I'm not going to argue with Bulldog Bob Brown. I'm going to let the fans decide for themselves whether they believe there's an object there or not, because it's the fans that really matter in this sport. Here's Big Stephen Pettipaw out on the cement floor. Jerry Morrow attacking from behind, using that Cuban flag.
From behind?
And Pettipaw
tripped over the cameraman is all I saw.
Pettipaw is down on the floor, obviously shaken up. Here comes Jerry Morrow at the chair. Jerry Morrow attacking Pettipaw with the chair. Honest to goodness, I don't know where this man gets his nerve. He shouldn't have been there in the first place. I stated it. Those were the reasons why I stated it. World Grand Prix Wrestling should launch an investigation immediately into Jerry Morrow's presence at ringside. As far as this match is concerned, he has no business being there, and that just proves it.
All I can see is Cuban Assassin beating the heck out of Stephen Pettipaw. I didn't see no interference. There's two guys in the ring, along with the third man in the ring, Bernie Bouchard, the worst referee in professional wrestling. I tell you, I just don't see how Stephen Pettipaw can beat the Cuban Assassin.
Once again, Cuban Assassin going to the trunks for that object and using it on the small of the back on Big Stephen Pettipaw. Cuban giving the count, 1, 2, and Pettipaw getting a foot out on the ropes.
There's your good old Canadian do-gooder putting his foot on the ropes. Yeah. He's a great athlete, isn't he?
Here's Cuban with a bear hug. He's got the bear hug in on Pettipaw. Jerry Morrow watching the action. As I mentioned, he has no business being there. withstand the pressure of the bear hug from the Cuban assassin.
It's all over. I can't see Pettipaw coming out of this.
There's Pettipaw. Off the rope. Clothesline. Pettipaw sending the Cuban flying to the canvas. Here's Pettipaw whipping Cuban off the ropes. Drop kick. Pettipaw catching the Cuban square in the face. Pettipaw once again. Here's Cuban. And down he goes again. Here's a pin. 1, 2. Morrow in to interfere.
I like this. I like what I see now. Here comes Stephen Casey. He's got no business being in the ring. I tell you, this match got out of hand because of Bernie Richard. Let me tell you something about that Casey. He's nothing but a cheap crook and a cheap shot that he took at the Cuban Commandos.
Here's Cuban Assassin getting worked over. Jerry Morrow had no business being in there, and Jerry Morrow is paying dearly now for his misdeeds.
Here's 2-on-1 again.
Here comes Steve Casey off the ropes. Look at this.
Wow, isn't that nice now? Hey, listen, two guys.
Steve Casey and Stephen Pettipaw, clean house. And Pettipaw gets the match by virtue of disqualification.
Well, let's get something quick short here. They disqualified the Cuban Commandos. But what about Stephen Casey? Stephen Casey now gets away with the whole charade. He comes in the ring, he hits the guys with drop kicks, he clotheslines them from the top rope, and nothing is even said. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the reason why I'm back. I'm back to clean house, and we'll be right back after this important message I'm discussing. Jerry Maxwell.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next match on today's program is one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing in the ring from Scotland, weighing 238 pounds, Pat Brady. And his opponent, about to make his way to the ring area, hails from Liverpool, England, weighing 265 pounds, the British Empire champion, Steve Casey. And your referee for this match is Ron Gauguin.
Well, well, well. Doesn't Patricia Brady look beautiful tonight?
I think he looks wonderful.
Look at this. I want to get a good look at this lovely lock of hair that Pat Brady has braided for us this evening. We've got to get a shot at this.
You know, I think you're jealous.
Pat's got to be short for Patricia.
I think you're jealous of him. I think you want to be like him, but you're not capable of being like him, Mr. Maxwell. You know, he's a great athlete. He comes from
He's got the best braids in World Grand Prix Wrestling.
I like what I see.
Bulldog Bob Brown, Gary Maxwell joining you here. World Grand Prix Wrestling co-can arena. Pat Brady in against Steve Casey. And you have to like the British Empire champion for all that he's accomplished here in the Maritimes. He has certainly established himself as a great competitor, a great role model for the kids, a true sportsman. And look at this maneuver, a monkey flip, but over goes Pat Brady.
A great sportsman for the kids.
Great role model.
You know what the best thing to do? I told you not agree with this. I tell you, all you kids out there, you must win, and win at any cost, even if you have to cheat.
Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. You don't care about the kids. You only care about yourself.
Well, you have to cheat to get on in life.
Here's Casey with a hip toss. He's back down on the mat. Pat Brady.
You watch a football game or you watch a hockey game, if they try to get a pass, illegal pass downfield, they'll go for it. If they try to illegal pass on the ice, they'll go for it if they don't get caught. Many goals were scored to win big hockey games when they're offside. You know that. You've got to cheat. It's the only way to survive. I know you don't agree, and Ed Whalen don't agree, but who cares?
Bulldog Bob Brown back in the Maritimes, but even he has to admire some of the maneuvers pulled off by that man, Steve Casey.
Well, there's no question in my mind that Steve Casey is a great athlete. But, you know, who is he wrestled? Who is he beat is the bottom line. And he hasn't done nothing whatsoever. You know what he reminds me of? You know who he
Go ahead.
Absolutely nothing.
There's Casey with a leg takedown. And here's a maneuver we haven't seen for some time, Bob.
I wonder what that is. I suppose that he could beat Brady with that. He's wasting his time. That's what they do in England for the pastime.
Well, look at this. I think this is something out of Steve Casey's European bag of tricks. As he flips Brady over, and now Brady going off the ropes. Here's Casey. Oh, backbreaker. 1, 2, and Brady is able to kick out.
Well, I thought the referee was a little fast in his count. He didn't give a guy a chance to move his shoulder, and it would certainly have been injustice if he would have counted him out.
Pat Brady on the verge of defeat, just staying alive here against British Empire champion Steve Casey.
You know, let's talk about the Americans. Let's talk about the great pieces of talent they got here. Let's talk about Stephen Casey, who we see on the screen right now. Let's talk about the Dynamite Kid. Let's not forget Leo Burke, the heartthrob of the Maritime. Let's not forget about the Beast. Okay? Fine. That's one side. Now let's go to the Cuban Commandos, a great tag team. They're showing their skills all summer long. They are the champions. Now you got Bulldog Bob Brown, one of the best in professional wrestling. He's already left his mark. Now you're talking about Brady. You're talking about Eddie Watts. My goodness, what an array of talent that's come into the Maritimes, and you people in the Maritimes should be ashamed of yourself if you don't go out and see these great stars. Anytime you see the billboard, it says wrestling, that is what you're going to see. That's what you're paying to see. And when you see the likes of Bulldog Bob Brown, Stephen Casey, Big Steven Pettipaw, let's not forget about him. You're seeing the best of professional along with the Cuban Commandos, Leo Burke, and the Beast. Hey, it's all there, and it's only a matter of time before Bulldog Bob Brown will get the chance at the championship, which is later on this program, and I'll show you why I'm going to be the Maritime Heavyweight Wrestling Champion.
Well, of course, he has to go through the British Bulldog, the Dynamite Kid, first of all, and Dynamite, I don't think, is about to surrender that belt very quickly.
You don't have to surrender.
Because Dynamite, of course, just won that belt not too long ago, just past week at Antigonish, beating Rotten Ron Starr, who, of course, has departed the scene as per the contract of that match.
He doesn't have to worry about losing it. I'll just take it away from him.
And I don't think too many people are going to be missing Rotten Ron Starr. Here's Brady coming down hard on the knees of Steve Casey. And you could see that Casey was anticipating that move. Here's Casey. This could be the kamikaze. Watch this, Bob Brown, because you could be next. There's Casey, the kamikaze, and it's all over for Pat Brady. 1, 2, 3. Steve Casey with a convincing win. The man not only wins, but he has style as well.
Let me tell you something about that match right here. I saw a match between Brady and Big Stephen Casey, all right? I saw a finish on him. What do you call it?
The kamikaze.
Kamikaze.
Get used to it.
I'll get used to it. Well, I've wrestled a man already. And how come that he can't get it on me or can't get it on the Cuban Commandos? I'll tell you why, ladies and gentlemen. Because Bulldog Bob Brown and the Cuban Commandos are much smarter, and then get that hole put on him. I'll tell you, Stephen Casey, I'll show you how to get out of it if I ever wrestle you.
And World Grand Prix Wrestling.
We'll be right back.
The 20-minute time limit. Introducing in the ring, known as the Cuban Commandos, one half of the Cuban Commandos from Martinique, weighing 243 pounds, Jerry Morrow. And his opponent, making his way to the ring area, hails from Dorchester, New Brunswick, weighing 250 pounds, everybody's favorite wrestler, the Beast. And your referee for this match is Bernie Richard.
Everybody's favorite, the Beast, is back here at the Cocan Arena, ready to square off against Jerry Morrow. And I think old Beastie's got something to settle with Morrow with the way Jerry cowardly attacked Big Steven Pettipaw earlier in this program. And it's interesting to see that the Cuban assassin is not at ringside, because likewise he does not possess proper managerial accreditation, and I think the officials of World Grand Prix Wrestling have finally corrected that situation.
You know, the odor is real strong in this arena tonight. I can understand why The Beast is here, been maneuvering with his horses all day, and he brings the smell. And this place really stinks when he comes in. And all I can tell you is, I hope that Jerry Morrow just puts it to him. Gary Maxwell, I know you've been around wrestling for a long time, not too long, not as long as I have, and not the great announcer that I am. But I want your feelings on tonight's championship match. I want you to tell me, what outcome do you figure is going to happen?
What you want me to say is how Bulldog Bob Brown is going to annihilate, is going to destroy the Dynamite Kid.
Oh, very fine. That's
the international champion. You want me to say that.
I know you're going to say that.
But I can't.
You know why you can't?
Because I don't believe it. Because not for a moment do I believe that the Dynamite Kid is anything but the very best champion that we could have here at World Grand Prix Wrestling. It's about time that we had a champion worthy of wearing the belt such as the Dynamite Kid, and I don't think he's about to surrender it that easily after gaining it last week in Antigonish to the likes of you.
You know what?
I don't think you have it. I don't think you have the athletic ability.
No, I tell you what.
I don't think you have the guts to beat the British Bulldog.
You know what I'm going to tell you? You've been listening to your wife and kids, and the only reason why you made that statement is because you have. Because when you go home, your wife and your kids would beat you up for humiliating Bulldog Bob Brown. No, I'll tell you what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to see the shortest champion of all time when you look at Dynamite and Bulldog. Match them both up. We've been around about the same amount of time, but look at Bulldog Bob Brown and look at the Dynamite Kid. Hey, we're both even, but I'm just that much better, and only time will tell, Mr. Maxwell. And don't be so silly making those stupid mistakes that you've been making for the last 2 weeks. Your judgment's very poor.
Let's look at the action in the ring. Jerry Morrow's got the Beast tied up in the ropes.
Nothing unusual. Everybody ties the Beast up, even the horses.
Looks like the Beast may have been choked. Here's Morrow now choking the Beast once again. The referee's got to get in there and break it up. He may have a rope around his... He may have a piece of tape, a rope, some sort of object wrapped around the throat of the Beast. I'm not quite certain.
Everything's always illegal when we put somebody down. It's got to be a rope or brass nuts or 4 nuts. You know, Jerry Morrow...
Look, it's an obvious chokehold. It's obvious.
Where's your referee then? If it was a chokehold, Bernie Richard would break it up. Ladies and gentlemen, hey, listen to me. Never mind Gary Maxwell. He hasn't got his glasses on, and he's really not watching the action. I'm so excited, I can't keep my eyes off the monitor.
Beast trying desperately to break the hold, but Jerry Morrow's being very ruthless here. He's not letting it go. The Beast looks as though he's about to turn purple with the way Morrow has that chokehold applied. And finally, I think referee Bernie Richard is able to break that up. Morrow did have a piece of athletic tape. He's putting it back in his pocket. Now that's what it was. It was wrapped around the throat of the Beast and concealed by Morrow's arm.
Let me tell you what that was. That was his lace. It came out of his shoe, and he just picked it up and put it away.
Bulldog, you never change. Here's Jerry Morrow and the Beast here, World Grand Prix Wrestling at the Coquette Arena. Beast trying to come back. Face raked by Morrow. Beast somewhat shaken up, and now he's out on the cement floor. The Beast is down. Here comes Morrow. Jerry Morrow grabbing the chair. Here's Morrow. Oh, my.
Oh, game's all over. The party's over.
Jerry Morrow slamming that chair down on the head of the Beast, and you can hear that crack go through the entire arena.
Well, I'll tell you what, it wouldn't hurt nothing up there because he's got nothing there.
The Beast will have a king-sized headache when he wakes up tomorrow, but first he's got to worry about finishing this match against Jerry Morrow, one half of the Cuban Commandos.
You talk about a packed house here. Like, you couldn't breathe in here. No wonder it's so hot. Sweating, I tell you, there's no air conditioning. The only building in the world that I have to produce wrestling and no air conditioning. My, what an insult to my intelligence.
Here's the Beast coming off with a boot to the midsection. The Beast being exhorted by the fans here at the Coquette Arena to come back and exact revenge. Here's Morrow raking the face. This has turned into a super match. The Beast and Jerry Morrow. You're right about one thing, Bob Brown. It is packed in here. It is hot. All kinds of excitement here at the Coquette Arena. Both Beast and Morrow colliding. And
That's
down
not
they
colliding.
go.
That's not colliding, Mr. Maxwell. That's a double knockout. Colliding is collide when you have a head-on collision. That's colliding. That was what you call a double knockout, and it's both stunned both wrestlers. You see how I'm up on professional wrestling, Mr. Maxwell? Stick around. You might learn something.
Here's the Beast with a boot to the midsection. Here's Beast with a roundhouse right. The Beast. Here's the Beast. Oh, my!
Biting away. Referee is standing there. He's watching it. He's not. The referee is just looking over at the Beast now,
This
beating
is
up
when
on
the
Jerry
Beast-
Morrow.
you
Now,
can-
why don't he move in and disqualify him? You know why? Because, of course, he's the Beast. He's from the Maritimes. Gets away with everything. If that was Jerry Morrow, he'd have Jerry Morrow disqualified.
Here's Morrow coming back with a head butt and a body slam. Morrow is going to the top rope. Here's Jerry Morrow. Ready to come off the top rope. Nobody home.
I'm
Nobody
surprised.
home at all.
I'm surprised that
Small
Jerry Morrow
package.
went.
2, 3.
Well, first of all, Mr. Maxwell, let me remind you about this.
Great victory. A great victory for the Beast, and not even you can deny that.
I'm just wondering now what got into Jerry Morrow. It was a silly mistake to go to the top rope to give the Beast that advantage. He dived off the top rope. The Beast moved out of the way. He got shot. He got stunned. Then the Beast moved in with a small package. It was a very cheap victory, and I thought it was a fast count by referee Bernie Richard. We'll be right back after this important message. Yes.
With a 60-minute time limit for the International Heavyweight Championship. And we have a special referee for this match. It will be Leo Burke. Introducing the challenger in this match from Kansas City, Missouri, weighing 254 pounds, Bulldog Bob Brown. And his opponent, about to make his way to the ring area, is the current international heavyweight champion, hailing from Manchester, England, weighing 228 pounds, the Dynamite Kid. And once again, your referee for this match is Leo Burke.
Well, here we go, the match we've been waiting for today. Bulldog Bob Brown against the Dynamite Kid. And here's Bob Brown. Brown has grabbed my microphone. Bob Brown wants to see
First
his
of all, let me remind you one thing, that I don't stand a chance as long as you're referee, Leo Burke, and this is ridiculous. And let me remind you one thing, it's bad enough now to...
Well, there goes the bell, and the match is underway. Bulldog Bob Brown, the Dynamite Kid, one half of the British Bulldogs. And I guess you could say this is the Battle of the Bulldogs here in World Grand Prix Wrestling for the International Heavyweight Wrestling Championship. Dynamite putting it up right away. That was conditional upon Brown arriving from Calgary, where he was wrestling with the Stampede Wrestling Promotion and TSN. And here's Dynamite just after winning the belt this past Sunday in Antigonish, putting it on the line against a very capable veteran, but one that Maritime fans nevertheless have found despicable over the years, Bulldog Bob Brown. There's Brown off the ropes, somewhat dazed as Dynamite applies the headlock. Dynamite going to work. Dynamite trying to tear Brown's head right off his body. The Dynamite Kid has certainly made a tremendous impact here on World Grand Prix Wrestling. Leo Burke, special referee, counting right away. Brown's shoulders were on the mat. Count of 2. Brown is scrambling to get back into the ring. And Bulldog Bob Brown is really wondering if he ever should have come back to the Maritimes. Here's a test of strength. Brown slapping the face of the Dynamite Kid, and that may prove to be a mistake. That may prove to be a big mistake. And tit for tat. Turnabout is fair play, and the Bulldog gets whacked in the side of the ears himself. Here's the Dynamite Kid. Headbutt. Dynamite going to work. There's an elbow. Dynamite pin. 1, 2. And Brown is able to kick out. The International Heavyweight Wrestling Championship is on the line here. Dynamite Kid defending against Bulldog Bob Brown, who has looked anything but like a worthy challenger here at the Cocan Arena. Now Brown reaching into the tights has pulled something out. Here's the British Bulldog off the middle rope and down hard. Just a count of 2. Just a count of 2. Dynamite thought it was 3. So we saw it as 2, and here's Dynamite with Bulldog Bob Brown in the sleeper hold. It could be all over. It could be all over. Oh, my. Here comes Jerry Morrow in with the chair. Jerry Morrow threw the chair into the ring. Leo Burke's got the chair. Here's Cuban Assassin attacking Leo Burke from behind. Cuban Assassin attacked Leo Burke from behind, and now Steve Casey's into the ring. 1, 2, 3, 6 men in the ring all told. We've got utter pandemonium breaking loose here at the Cocan Arena, folks. Somehow we've got to straighten this situation out. Dynamite trying to get rid of the Cuban Assassin. And here's Bulldog Bob Brown beating a hasty retreat to the dressing room. And the Dynamite Kid has been awarded the match, and rightfully so, by virtue of disqualification, as Steve Casey stares down Bulldog Bob Brown. Dynamite Kid, the winner of the match by virtue of Brown's disqualification.